one, I'm Mind, and in this video, I'm going to be reviewing more custom-printed Ninjago minifigures. These are coming from Ninja Customz over on Instagram, who I've reviewed a few times before, and it was made in collaboration with Skunk Bricks and Super Brick Figs. The three of them worked together to get these figures made. I'll have all three of their accounts linked in the description below if you want to go check them out for yourself. And I do want to mention right off the bat that they did send me these free for review. That being said, I'm going to do my best to give you guys my genuine, honest opinion on them. So without further ado, let's get this open and actually take a look at what's inside. Now you can see it is already opened. I opened just to confirm that the contents were in there, but now I'll pull it out for all of you. So we've got this bag of quite a few different parts, and all these figures, I believe, are based on Ninjago Dragons Rising Seasons 1 and 2. These really cool illustration cards were included this time around, showing you the different prints, and I think that's neat. It makes them more collectible, makes the whole project feel a lot more fun. But there you go, I think we have one more left. That's all of them. I'm not going to spend too long on the cards right now, though, because I want to take a look at the actual minifigures, so let me pour these out. Now, these are printed on official LEGO pieces, however, of course, the prints themselves are custom, and these are, of course, not complete figures, it's just the custom printed parts right here. I will put the full figure together before I start reviewing them, but I wanted to show you exactly which parts are custom printed. So this is the only full custom printed figure in this video, but then we also have quite a few heads. This one for Cinder, this one for Jordana, a second head for Sora, a head for Arin, and finally some arms for Lord Ras. These last two are unprinted. I think they're meant for the Sora figure, but I was told it looks better with a golden arm, so I'm going to use one of those instead. But yeah, now that I've given you a summary of each of the custom printed parts, let me put these on their respective figures so we can take a better look at them, and I'll give you my genuine honest thoughts. So I'll start with the full custom printed minifigure in this video, Sora. And of course, this is a custom mech pilot suit for Sora because the rest of the Ninja got one in the January wave of sets, but for some reason both Arin and Sora were left out despite being main characters of the new show. That was one of my biggest critiques of that wave. I was very disappointed to see that the new characters were left out, so it's actually really nice to have a custom figure to fill in that gap. And yeah, I have to say, this is really well designed. It's obviously very similar to the other mech suits because they're all designed to sort of be the same thing, but I think they did a great job of incorporating Sora's color scheme here. The coral color on the belt looks fantastic, and I like how it comes over on the shoes too. And the gold detailing looks beautiful, and all the ninja have that on their suits, but it ties in really well with the armor piece and her arm. And then the combination of dark blue and coral in the center of her torso is just super unique. I genuinely really love how this looks, and I wish there was an official minifigure that did this design. Now, of course, this is a custom printed figure, so there are some differences between it and an official LEGO minifigure. For one, the gold here is not metallic gold, it's just a matte gold color. Obviously, LEGO's metallic gold is awesome, and I wouldn't want them to switch it in official sets, but for something custom printed, honestly, this is pretty good. The gold is very close to LEGO's official gold color, the printing doesn't seem off at all, and in terms of custom printed figures, this entire team is really good at capturing that LEGO style. They have the right thickness on their lines, the right number of colors used. It just feels very similar to the way that LEGO actually designs their minifigures, and this is a prime example of that. Now you can see there's also an all-new face print here for Sora, and this has her smiling and winking. I'm very happy to get another face print for Sora because of course in sets we have, what, 3? Only one headpiece actually in sets. It's the dual-sided one with the angry no powers on one side, and the happy using her powers on the other side. And then we have another happy without powers from the LEGO Store exclusive Build-A-Minifigure version. But yeah, because Sora's a new character, she does have very few expressions, but she is a very important character in the show, so I want more for her. And I have to say, this is quite well designed. They've got the gold flakes on the cheek just like she has in the show, and the face doesn't exactly feel like LEGO minifigure style, but it feels very close to the Ninjago animation style, which I think is what they're kind of going for here. I will say, at least in my opinion, the expression is not the most Sora expression in the world, but I could also say that about the Build-A-Minifig version of Sora. It's rare that I think a Ninjago minifigure captures the character's personality absolutely perfectly, so for a custom especially, I really like this. And I'm happy to have another expression for Sora just to add to my collection. Now, of course, the other mech suits do have hood pieces that go with them, and Sora here does not. And that's because that's not as simple as custom printing. Those are dual molded masks. I guess you could paint over the Zane or J mask if you really wanted to. But if not, she's stuck on masks like this, which I think is perfectly fine. She does still look really cool. And if I take the armor piece off, there's a full look at the custom printed back torso print. I will say her name is missing right here. All the other mech suits have their name written on their back. Not a huge deal because the armor does normally cover that up, but it would have been nice to see. However, the rest of the design is spectacular. I like how the blue and pink carry over here in the subtlest way. It's a small thing, but really ties the entire figure together. Obviously, this isn't a figure that's going to be canon to the show or anything, but it's a really nice one to have in my collection. It's one I absolutely wanted to exist, so I'm incredibly happy to have it here. Now, that wasn't their only Sora-related product, because they also have another face print that they're selling separately, and this is actually a double-sided face. So one side is her using her powers with a very angry expression, and this is actually something I really wish we had in the sets. Because I think it's funny that when she's using her powers, she's happy, and when she's not using her powers, she's angry. I think that should probably be swapped around. But yeah, this is an amazing face to get for her. Tons of emotion captured there, and unlike the winking face, this one is actually double-sided, and you can see the alternate face is a dragon power face. Now, the original Ninja all got dragon power faces in the first wave, and those went on to be reused in other waves of Dragon's Rising sets, but Sora and Arin did not get dragon power faces, so it's really great to have a custom one. Each of the ninja have like a little design around their eyes, and I like how on Sora's they made it look like the gold flaking. Again, this feels super close to LEGO style. This is really, really well done. Here's how she looks with the dragon power face and her season 1 outfit, of course with her hood up and everything. Doesn't work as well as some of the others because her hair does peek through a little bit, but still really, really cool. It just makes this line feel more complete because she fits with the other ninja now. And here's the winking face in the full suit, which honestly, that looks pretty good. It seems a lot more like her with the mask on. And finally, here's the dragon power face with a hairpiece if you're curious. Now moving to the next custom printed piece, we have a face print for Arin. And just like Sora, officially he doesn't have a ton of face prints yet, he only has 2. So I'm just happy to get another expression for him, and this does feel very close to his personality in the show. I will say, if I'm going to be like super critical, the eyes feel maybe a little bit too low, but the LEGO style heads are really hard to capture. Like whenever I see customs, the eyes are usually the thing that they get the most wrong. They're too far apart, or too close, or too small, or too big. But the group of people who make these customs, they get about as close as you possibly can to the LEGO styles with the eyes and everything, and it is genuinely super impressive. This looks like Arin, which is great. And of course, he still has the fade in his hair coming down the sides. Just like they did with Sora, they also gave him a double-sided face, and once again, he has the dragon power face on the other side. So there's how that looks with the hairpiece on. You can see his expressions almost like a little surprised. And I love what they did with the effect around his eyes. It actually looks like it's meant to be little grappling hooks, because of course he carries that around in the first season of the show. He gets around with a grappling hook, and he doesn't have an elemental power, so it's neat to represent his power in the form of the grappling hook. I love that. Here's how that looks in the full suit, which is incredible. It fits in great with the official versions. And here's how he looks in his quote-unquote mech pilot suit. Of course, his mech pilot suit isn't really complete. The official version is just a hood piece and a season 1 suit. But I do believe they are working on a full mech pilot suit for Arin. Don't quote me on this, I'm not positive. But the card shows the full mech pilot suit for him. I just think it's being released separately from the headpiece. So yeah, that's also very cool, and if they do end up releasing that, I will definitely cover it on my channel. But for right now, the headpiece is a great start. Absolutely love how it was done. Coming to the next piece, we have a custom printed head for Jordana. And this is one that I'm going to be honest, I don't feel like I needed. I think her 2 official expressions are pretty good. That being said, I'm always happy to have more expressions for characters. And once again, these seem to be expressions more inspired by the show, while the official version of the head's more of its own design. So the mouth's a little bit smaller than we typically see in a LEGO minifigure, but it is how the character appears in the show. However, I think they captured her likeness really well. Again, I appreciate them still including the circuitry on the side of her face. That's a very important part of her design, but it is still kept here. And she's got 2 expressions. One side she's a little sad or worried, and that's not at all similar to any of the official faces we have, because she either has like this very wide nefarious smile or a very angry face. So this is a much more neutral expression for her, which is honestly super nice to have. And then the alternate face is a smile, which we do have an official smile for her, but this is a very different smile. Once again, this one's just a lot more toned down. And I think it's great, it's good to have more options. Next, we come to their custom printed Cinder head, and this one's very interesting, because the official Cinder face I love. I think it's one of the coolest pieces we've ever gotten. It's transparent black and a double-sided face. One side he's like engulfed in smoke, the other side he's just got his face out. But from what we've seen in the trailer so far, that's not exactly how Cinder looks in the show. For one, he does have like these giant red bags around his eyes, and there are bags under his eyes on the minifigure, but it's not the same as his appearance in the show, so you can see this custom printed version changes that. The yellow on his face is also now a lot more vibrant, and it's printed on a solid color head instead of a transparent one, which I think the transparent head's really cool. I love that from a toy design standpoint. I think that makes for an awesome minifigure, but if you prefer like 100% show accuracy, then you may prefer this face. I do love how vibrant the red under the eyes is, and the expression here is good, and I like how it does differ from the official figure even if the style of the head is different, but the alternate face is what's really exciting here, because if I turn this head around, you can see this is powered up Cinder where his eyes turn red. Again, we've seen this in the trailer. Dragon's Rising Season 2 has not aired yet, but he has some sort of thing where he like puts the wolf mask on and it powers up his armor, and then his eyes turn red and I assume he becomes more powerful. And yeah, that's captured here. This might be their best designed head. Like genuinely, this looks really, really close to LEGO style. That smile especially is really good. This is absolutely the kind of graphic I could see on an official LEGO minifigure. So yeah, while the other side is just sort of like an alternate version of Cinder's head, this is something that we just don't have officially yet at all. And I think it looks amazing. Really, really happy to get that. Super well designed. And fits the character great. Like seeing it on the full minifigure, yeah, this looks fantastic. And then the last of the minifigures that we have to look at is Lord Ras. And the change here is actually arm printing for him. Now the arm printing on Ras is very interesting because he has it on like the box art for the sets, but he doesn't have it in the show nor in the actual sets. So technically no arm printing is what's accurate to the show, but it seems like he was meant to have arm printing at some point. So they've designed custom printed arms for him to match his new outfit. And this looks great. It fits fits in perfectly. It's not like a crazy design, it's very similar to his designs from the first season, but instead of like the red Imperium armor at the wrist, he's got like that gray and blue crystal armor, which matches the design of his outfit. Both arms are pretty nearly identical to each other, and when put onto the full figure, it just makes it feel a lot more premium. Yeah, I like it. I wish the official minifigure was released this way. It just feels a lot cooler, a lot more complete. Now, I said this was the last minifigure, however, it's not the last custom print to look at in this video, because we also have the Sweeper. Now, of course, this is the little guy from Dragon's Rising Season 1 that we see in the Land of Lost Things episode. He ends up being the big bad of the episode, and I absolutely adore this. This is my favorite thing about custom printed LEGO minifigures and just LEGO pieces in general, when they give us stuff from Ninjago that LEGO themselves will never make, but it did appear in the show. Because stuff like the mech suit for Sora, it's cool, right? I want it to exist and now I have a custom version of it. Really neat to have. And it's nice to have more expressions for characters too. But this is perfect. I absolutely love this. It's just such a silly little thing that I never expect to ever get in a set. But it's done in that LEGO style, which is so wonderful, because yeah, it's just printed on a trans-clear minifigure head, and we have a single rounded piece on the top to be like the jar that it's trapped in. But like, look at this little guy. He's just so cute. I absolutely adore it. Now, before I wrap this video up, I want to talk about the last few final things about these minifigures. For one, the printing quality. Pretty often, if you get a custom printed figure, there's going to be some texture to them. The printing's not going to be as flat on the minifigure as an official LEGO minifigure. Now, that's perfectly fine. It's what I've come to expect. However, I'm pleasantly surprised to say the printing quality on these is actually quite good. Now, there is still a little bit of texture here. It's not completely flat against the torso, but it's pretty darn close. Like, it's not uncommon for me to get a custom printed figure and like the printing on their face is so thick that when you put a mask on, there's actually a little bit of resistance. And even that, I don't mind, because I get it. Like, you're not going to replicate LEGO's quality completely. But that is not the case with these figures at all. There is no resistance anywhere on these pieces. There's the tiniest little bit of texture, that is true. You can still feel that it's not the same as LEGO. However, I'm still very impressed. There's also no fuzziness to the printing pretty much anywhere I could see. That is something I've noticed in the past. However, one thing I did notice, which is potentially a negative, the colors in the customs aren't as vibrant as the official LEGO minifigures. In isolation, this looks perfectly fine. It doesn't seem like there's anything wrong with it. But when we put it next to an official torso and legs, you can see they don't match up completely. The colors are a little bit off. I don't mind that, it's not a huge deal, but if you guys are considering getting these for yourself, it is something to be aware of. In short though, as with most of my custom minifigure videos, I love these. I love whenever Ninjago fans take it into their own hands to make the things that LEGO isn't, and I think it's really neat to have all these new variations, upgrades, and just wacky new characters now in my collection. Here's one last look at the cards that came with these figures. That's for the Arin face, that's of course the Sweeper. This is the Sora headpiece, there's the Pilot Sora minifigure, the Lord Ras Arm Printing, the Jordana Faces, and finally the Cinder Faces. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, everyone involved in making these will be linked in the description below. I believe if you want to get these for yourself, you can go through them. And as for this video, I think that's about all I have to say. So thanks for watching everybody. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!